Let me start with something uncomfortable. There are households earning six figures right now that are one broken appliance away from panic. Not embarrassment, not inconvenience, panic. And what's strange is that these aren't reckless people. They're educated, responsible, hardworking, two adults, two full-time jobs. So why does it still feel so fragile? If you've ever looked at your household income and thought, we make too much money to feel this stressed, this video is for you. For decades, we were told a simple story. Two incomes are better than one. More money equals more security, more options, more freedom. It sounds logical, it sounds mathematical. But what nobody explains is that the moment two incomes became normal, the entire system adjusted around them. Prices changed, expectations changed, risk quietly shifted onto households. And most families never noticed it happening. They just felt the pressure. Today, dual-income households are working harder than ever, earning more than previous generations ever did. And yet many of them feel like they're constantly behind. Not because they're bad with money, but because the rules changed. Picture a completely normal couple. No extreme lifestyle, no flashy spending. She works in marketing, he works in tech. They earn about $130,000 combined. They did everything right. Degrees, careers, marriage, shared finances. They bought a house that the bank approved. They drive reliable cars. They save a little when nothing goes wrong. But when something does go wrong, everything tightens at once. A car repair goes on a credit card. A medical bill wipes out savings. A layoff would be a disaster, and that's the confusing part. From the outside, they look successful. From the inside, they feel trapped. Now let's zoom out. A few decades ago, most middle-class families ran on one income. That wasn't because people were smarter or more disciplined. It was because the system allowed it. Housing prices were set by what one income could afford. Public schools didn't require expensive neighborhoods. Healthcare and childcare weren't massive line items. The second adult working was optional. It was a safety valve. If the primary earner lost their job, the other adult could step in. That unused income was margin. It was resilience. Today, that margin is gone. Two incomes aren't extra anymore. They're required. And once both incomes are required just to survive, there's no backup left. Let's talk about the second income specifically, because this is where the illusion really shows up. Imagine one partner earns $50,000 a year. On paper, that sounds meaningful. But once you subtract taxes, it shrinks fast. Now add the cost that only exists because both adults work. Childcare, commuting, a second vehicle, more convenience spending because nobody has time or energy. By the end, that second income often contributes far less than people expect. In some households, it barely moves the needle. In others, it actually costs money. And yet, that income is treated as permanent and guaranteed. That's the trap. Here's the part most people miss. When nearly everyone has two incomes, those incomes stop being an advantage. They become the baseline. Homes get priced for dual earners. Good school districts get priced for dual earners. Childcare, activities, and basic middle-class life gets priced for dual earners. So families stretch. They buy the house that only works if both paychecks keep coming. They take on obligations that can't shrink easily. Everything functions as long as nothing goes wrong. But life always finds a way to go wrong. And when it does, there's no slack left in the system. This isn't really about income. It's about flexibility. Families today don't fail because they earn too little. They struggle because their fixed costs leave no room to breathe. They're operating at full capacity all the time. That's not stability. That's vulnerability. True financial security isn't about how much you make when everything goes right. It's about how well you survive when something goes wrong. So what actually works? The counterintuitive answer is this. Build your life so it can function on one income, even if you have two. That doesn't mean one person must quit working. It means you don't depend on both incomes to survive. Your housing, your fixed bills, your core lifestyle, all of it should be survivable if one paycheck disappears. The second income becomes optional, not emotionally optional, financially optional. It goes towards savings, investing, debt reduction, and flexibility. That's where real power comes from. This approach feels uncomfortable because it goes against social pressure. Friends upgrade their homes. Coworkers upgrade their cars. Everyone assumes that if you earn more, you should spend more. Choosing restraint looks like falling behind. But restraint is what creates options. Options to step back, options to handle emergencies, options to choose time over money later. You're not building a smaller life. You're building a more resilient one. Here's the interesting part. When a household preserves margin, something changes after a few years. Savings grow, investments compound, stress drops. Eventually, the second income actually starts doing what people thought it would do in the first place. It creates security, not because it's spent, but because it's not needed. That's when work becomes a choice instead of a requirement. Two incomes don't automatically mean safety. Modern expenses absorb extra earnings quietly. Most households lose their backup plan without realizing it. Financial security comes from margin, not income alone. A one-income foundation restores flexibility. If this changed how you think about money, like and subscribe for more grounded finance content. And I want to hear from you. If one income vanished tomorrow, would your household be stressed, scared, or surprisingly okay? Drop your honest answer in the comments.